my goodness.
That's because of stem cell therapy by the Matrix.
Isn't this incredible?
Amazing.
Wow.
I'm John Jacobs, founder of the Power Team, and I was just able to snap a baseball bat like nothing for the first time in 10 years over my leg, because God has made a way to renew, restore your youth, your strength with the medical help of the stem cell therapy by the Matrix. And I'm a part of the healing revolution.
You know, I grew up with John Jacobs from the Power Team, and so my millennials in my studio here don't know the significance of this.
I grew up watching Power. I did Power Team in the 90s.
You did Power?
All ripping phone
you're
books
one of the
and
kids
everything.
in the audience then.
Yes, yes.
Tearing the phone book.
For Christ. Exactly.
All right, well, here's the point. John Jacobs there, he was losing it. You know why? Because as you get older, your stem cells are like a checking account. They decrease, they decline, they degrade, they go down. And when they go down, your body's repairing system is you're not regenerating the cellular infrastructure that keeps the bones strong, the muscles growing, the youth there. And that's what the aging principle is. So he's saying he's recovered something. And I'm looking for stories all the time, testimonies, evidence, because every month we get the privilege of exploring the Level 10 Matrix, almost like a lab. We're looking at what's going on in the real world with people that are doing this. And so I just found John Jacobs today. I just found out he's been taken and this happened to him. But I've got Hillary Kennedy here in the studio audience with us. We had an audience, so I'll be applauding right now.
Hello, everyone.
That's why I want to get a live audience, so I can have that moment. Anyway, Hillary, you work a lot over at The Blaze with Glenn Beck, and then we get to watch you, we get to hear you all the time. But I didn't know about this story, that you also have had your own journey with the same results, Level 10 Matrix. By the way, people are going to say, what is this? Level10matrix.com. While you're watching the show, just go look it up, level10matrix.com. Or you can call 800-361-2270, or just comment Matrix while you're watching it on Facebook or something, and I'll link you up with this. So go ahead. Tell us your encounter with this technology.
It's been pretty incredible. My husband is actually the one that had this miraculous transformation, but I was a part of this journey trying to help him because he got something called Guillain-Barré when he was little, just a few years old, and it damaged all of the nerves in his ankles and his feet.
Wow.
And so it's made walking really challenging, especially as he's gotten older. So as a little kid, they told him, you'll probably never play sports. And he had the mindset, and his parents had the mindset of, we're going to do whatever we need to do to give you as normal of a childhood as possible. And so he was able to play sports. It was a little painful, but you know, as you get older, as you said, your body starts to break down, wear down, and he started having debilitating pain in his feet. And he, like most men, he didn't want to share that he was in pain because he didn't want to appear weak or be a complainer. He's a very positive guy. But I started noticing when we would do things together as a family, like just even walking the dog around the block, he would be in a horrible mood. And so then it would make me upset and we would fight because I would say, like, why are you being such a jerk? This is fun family time. Like, you're supposed to be laughing and having a good time. And he wasn't. And he finally explained to me, it's my feet. I'm in so much pain when I'm having to stand on my feet for long periods of time that it just robs me of all the joy. So we started looking into stem cell therapy because we'd heard some people talk about that being a way to alleviate pain for lots of different reasons. And we were a little skeptical. We weren't sure. So it was several years of looking into it. But when I heard some testimonials like I'm giving today, I told him we might as well give it a shot because the only other option that we had was surgery for him. And the doctors said we would probably have to break all of the bones in your feet, move muscle around, reset everything, and maybe.
You know how many bones there are in your feet? I mean, they have to break all the bones in the feet in order to reset. You talk about almost a prehistoric methodology of break it, smash and put it together.
Brutal. And they said, you know, you would either, if you got them both done at the same time, both feet done at the same time, you'd be in a wheelchair for 6 months. Or if you did 1 foot at a time, you could be on crutches for 6 months with 1 foot and then crutches on 6 months with the other foot. Well, we have 2 small children. So, I mean, the thought of having to try and help him navigate life, going to work, taking care of kids, either in a wheelchair or on crutches for that length of time was really scary, and to not be certain whether the surgery would even work. So we did decide we would go ahead and try stem cells and see what happened. And within a matter of weeks, we'd gone together as a family to Colorado, and my husband was wearing our baby in one of those backpacks, carrying him around. And we were at a 4th of July parade, and he had not complained the entire time about his feet or needed to stop and sit down. And I said, you know what? You haven't said one thing about your feet today. And it was like a light bulb went off, and he realized, oh my gosh, like this is the first time that I've walked for this long and carrying another person pain-free in, years and years and years. And that's when we realized, I think you've been healed.
Wow. That's amazing. And so many people just grow accustomed living with their pain.
Yeah.
And I remember we were talking before, he was like, you guys had talked about stem cells. People told you about stem cells, and it was a little slow though in taking action on it. And then so finally you get to this point where it's either you can break every bone in your foot, and there's 26 bones. I just looked it up. Every bone in your foot, or you could try stem cells. And it's like, okay, fine. It's like, and how many times is it like that? It doesn't have to be like that, but people wait and wait. And then like, we keep bringing people on testimony after testimony, talking about the matrix because of results like what Hillary's husband just received.
I think the thing that makes it hard, but you've got like more than one story. So I want to hear, I don't know what they are yet, but someone told me you got to hear these stories, plural. But the thing I think that is interesting is I don't understand how, imagine if you have something you offer as a therapy, it would probably always result in, hey, it grows your hair back, or it removes nail fungus. In this case, every story is different, which is what makes it so entertaining, because we're constantly hearing the cause and effect, the stem cell regeneration, that is the cause of something catalytic happening. But the effect is so capricious because people have multiple different things they notice.
Yes.
And in some cases, it may not go to where you think it's going to go, because you got one thing in mind and it's actually going to the root of something downstream that's making this happen. So tell me another story. I want to hear another story. By the way, that's level10matrix.com, 800-361-2270. And if you're watching it on Instagram and Facebook, just put the word matrix in there, and we'll link you. We'll send you a link. Okay, tell me another one.
Well, you hit the nail on the head with that. We wanted something that was going to be natural, that we weren't worried about, anything scary happening. But also we thought, even if it doesn't help his feet, it could help something else potentially. Right. So we knew something good God was going to do something with it no matter what. So when we saw that he had such an amazing, dramatic result, he's able to walk for long periods of time, stand for long periods of time without any pain. We were so excited that we were telling everybody about it. Anybody that we knew that had some sort of ailment, we were like, have you thought about doing this? So my mom had worked in dentistry forever. And of course, when you're working on patients, you're hunched over and, using the instruments. And so she had horrible, horrible back and shoulder pain. And it had gotten to the point where she just couldn't sleep at night because her shoulder was bothering her so much. And she was in the same boat where every doctor she went to said, well, we could do a back surgery. And she didn't want to do that. I mean, if you can avoid surgery at all costs, it's great to find something else. So she decided, after seeing what happened with my husband, to go ahead and give it a try. And hers was even a more rapid transformation. It was within like 24 hours. She called me and she said, I woke up and my shoulder didn't bother me all night. And I woke up after a full night's sleep, and this is incredible. And I said, I didn't expect it to work that quickly. And so it's just really neat to see how in some cases it might take a little longer than others, but in other cases, it can be just, a snap of the fingers, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, my pain is gone. So we saw that with my mom. And then, of course, my sister, she had been battling stage 4 breast cancer. And God just had done such a miraculous job helping her through her treatment, but she had to have a double mastectomy. And recovery from that is really hard. I mean, it's just hard on your body. It's hard on your mind. And we told her, why not get the treatment and just see if it helps in your healing. And so she did get stem cell, and I have never seen anybody recover from surgery that fast. It was incredible. I mean, it was just outrageous to see how quickly she was up and about and ready to go back to working out and walking and all the things. I mean, I feel like it gave her a strength and restoration that she wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
And that's common too. The other thing I've heard a lot, and happened with Annabelle, is that she had what was it? Torn rotator cuff.
You guys went on a trip and she pulled a suitcase down from overhead
in
like
Europe,
just wrecked her shoulder,
tore her shoulder apart. So then she had to get and so we did the therapy because we've seen so many tremendous stories about what happens. But in that case, she had to do the surgery, but the therapy caused the doctor to be amazed at the rapidity with which she recovered, because the surgery still was needed, but the recovery time was cut in half. And she was able to do things. He said, you shouldn't be able to lift your arm above it without pain. She goes, no, look, I could do it all. So it's like, all right. So I realized something. I realized that it works in multiple ways. It can actually go to the root of the cause that you don't know, and then the symptom stops manifesting. It can go to the symptom and deal with it in this conspicuous way. It can also bring recovery faster after. And I think it's probably preventative because you don't want to have to wait. It's like, you don't want to start to exercise after you have the heart attack. You're actually probably better off exercising so you don't get a heart attack, right? So I'm just thinking, I wonder how many more stories there are of people that are out there that are in these different phases of that kind of recovery.
Well, and like you said, I mean, when we open with John Jacobs, here's a guy getting a little older, really peak fitness majority of his life, and like, what did he say, 10 or 15 years, he hasn't been able to break a bat like that. So it's just fascinating to hear. And I just love the testimonies. And we have the honor of, bringing people on like Hillary, people that are listening. We have another testimony I hope we play in one of our shows where a gentleman from our healing conference came and he had long COVID reactions and how the Matrix helped him with that. I mean, we're bringing you real people just like you at home. You're watching Lance and I, you're listening to Hillary, and these aren't made up. I mean, that's what I love about it, is that the people we feature on the program are people just like you at home. And so if you want to find out more, I know Lance says the website, and everybody has so many questions. Anytime we do broadcasts like this, question in the chat. The best thing you could do, go to the website, put your name and your email in, and we're going to send you a booklet called Stem Cells Made Simple. It answers 95% of your questions. And for the 5%, one of our team members is going to follow up with you. Somebody from the Matrix team is going to call you, answer your questions, and you've got to get your missing piece here, right? God, I say this a lot because I believe this, is that my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And if you don't have that missing piece, this could be yours. Just like Hillary's husband, just like her sister, her mom, my mom, and like we're talking about Annabelle and so many others. I mean, I remember the guy that works for Annabelle had the liver failure, received the Matrix. And to your point, like sometimes it's once, sometimes it's a couple of times you're getting it. Yeah. And I mean, radical transformation. So what a gift to be able to talk to you guys about this, because it works. I mean, it's phenomenal.
I want to see the John Jacobs other video. Do you have another one? I got a note in front of me. The guy's so energetic.
Totally.
Because, your stem cells run out as you get older. If you replenish them, you can reverse the aging, in my opinion. Everybody should take stem cell therapy, because all I can know is I think, feel 20 years ago. I've tried everything and maybe seen a little help here and there, but the stem cell therapy is completely transforming. Longer life, stronger bones, joints, mind, quicker thinking. It's a God thing to make people more effective for the kingdom. God's a restorative God. He wants to restore and renew.
Amen.
That's his heartbeat.
That's
and
right.
God wants to restore the youth. God wants to restore your strength. And this is one of the tools God is using to restore people and renew them and their strength.
That's right.
I got to show you why that is. Bring up that chart. I like to show this chart now and then because this is the thing that really started to convince me to go deeper on this subject. You that are in the podcast world aren't looking at this, but we've got a series. We got a baby, infant, and then a toddler, and then a 30-year-old, a 50-year-old, and I guess an 80-year-old. Mm-hmm. And what it shows is the ratio of stem cells, I guess, to 1 out of 10,000 cells is a stem cell when you're newborn, and they're multiplying. As a teenager, it's 1 out of 100,000. You're still in your growth spurt, but it starts to level off. Then you're 1 in 250,000 as you're reaching your 30s. And then at age 50, it's 1 in 400,000 is a stem cell. Here's the point about reversing the aging. What John is saying is there's an element of truth to that, because what he's really saying is if you get a sudden infusion of stem cells that are brand new at that 1 in 10,000 phase, then those pure new stem cells are going into you as though you were a newborn or a teenager growing, and they become active and multiply, in a sense, with a guided intelligence going to the part of the body that needs the regeneration the fastest. This is as far as I could go with my basic comprehension. So that's why he's saying it feels like I've gotten younger. Well, yeah, because suddenly that one element that produces the multiplication of life that deteriorates as you get older, boom, at the core level goes back in. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's the reason why we won't be able to do it today, right now, but we have other videos I've been watching of people that have had long COVID symptoms with brain fog and stuff, and then it lifts. Well, because there's a way in which this stem cell therapy actually goes to work on that. Mm-hmm. Any final thoughts, team?
Well, I just think, like, as you're talking, I mean, the stem cells coming from healthy mom and baby. And, you're talking about stem cells. I mean, these cells were just, if you think about it, God just knit this healthy baby together. And here are the stem cells from the umbilical cord.
From the umbilical cord of the mother.
To bring life and renew life. And that level 10 life, that matrix life, is the regenerated life. And I love what John said there, that is the heart of everything we do. It's a regenerated mind, body, soul. And it's the heart of what Christ is doing in the earth. So I'm just excited. Go check it out. I'll give the link one more time here. level10matrix.com. You can put matrix in the comments. We'll send you the link right to you so you can just do whatever you want. They'll send it to you in the comments. Or you could call 1-800-361-2270. I have to look to the side to see it because I don't have a monitor in front of me. But I just want to let you know. Get a hold of it.
Kennedy, sometime we'll have to get a picture of your husband's feet.
Yes. He would wonder, how in the world did you rope me into this? Your testimony is important. And, one thing I will say before we go is that we kept hearing about stem cell over the years and didn't act right away. And I think there's no coincidences in life. I think God has you listening to these testimonies today for a reason. Yeah. And so if it keeps coming up, if you keep hearing about it, if you keep seeing things about it, reading things about it, that might just be God telling you to take a leap of faith and try it. And that's what we did. And it really changed our lives.
Well, they're affordable and life-changing. So I encourage you to go to level10matrix.com. Put the word matrix into the comments, and don't miss any of these shows because we never know when we get a chance to record them. But the right people watch them at the right time. And we'll see you again on the next episode.
Did you enjoy this latest episode? Please remember to share it with your friends, because the more knowledge you have,